are you? And why are you following me? What do you want from me?
The night you were born, something happened that no one in this village must ever know. But tonight, the truth comes alive.
If it's a secret, I will uncover it myself. No one will scare me.
Umofia village was peaceful. Or so everyone thought, but some secrets do not sleep, and one secret would change the life of a young girl named Olaedo forever. Olaedo was 22 years old. Beautiful, brave, and full of life, she walked along the dusty path near the river, carrying water from the well, her Ghana weaving shone in the morning sun. Everyone in the village admired her, but no one knew the truth of her birth. Not even Olaedo herself. As she walked, the roosters crowed, and the smoke from cooking fires rose into the sky. The villagers greeted her warmly, but some whispered behind their hands. They said things about the night she was born. Strange things about thunder and shadows that moved without sound. Olaedo noticed the whispers but tried to ignore them. She approached Mama Ifeoma, the village elder, who always wore a serious expression. Mama Ifeoma, what are they saying about me? Olaedo asked, her voice soft but steady. Mama Ifeoma looked away, her eyes heavy with secrets. Child, some truths are too heavy for a young heart, she said. You must be careful who you trust. There are people who will lie to you, even those closest to you. Olaedo frowned. What do you mean, Mama? I don't understand. The truth will come in its own time, Mama Ifeoma whispered. Olaedo felt a chill run through her. Something was not right. The sun began to set. The sky turned a deep orange. Reflecting on the river, Olaedo decided to head home. She walked quickly, her mind uneasy. Suddenly, a shadow moved among the trees near the path. A man appeared. Tall, dark-skinned, wearing a long tunic and cap, his eyes were sharp. His presence felt dangerous. Olaedo, do you know the story of the night you were born? He asked softly. Olaedo stepped back. Who are you? How do you know me? I know more than you can imagine, he said. I know the secret everyone fears to speak. Olaedo's heart raced. Her instincts told her to run, but her courage kept her rooted in place. As they spoke, a scream shattered the evening calm. Smoke rose from Ada's house, her best friend. Flames roared, lighting the sky with an angry orange glow. Olaedo ran without thinking, her wrapper flying behind her like a banner. She grabbed a bucket from the well, water spilling as she ran. Villagers screamed and ran in every direction, panic in their eyes. Obina, a young man known for his bravery, struggled with buckets of water, but the flames grew faster than he could fight. Ada, hold my hand, Olaedo shouted, jumping over burning debris. Her arms burned from the heat, but she did not stop. She reached Ada, trapped under a fallen wooden beam. I've got you. Don't worry, she cried. Lifting the beam with all her strength, courage is tested when fear is strongest. Olaedo's bravery shone brighter than the fire itself. Suddenly, she sensed a shadow nearby. Emeka stood watching silently, holding a small charm that glinted under the firelight. Why are you here? Why are you doing this? Olaedo shouted, her voice trembling but fierce. The night you were born, the village saw a shadow, Emeka said calmly, a shadow that some wanted to forget. And you? You are the reason. Olaedo felt her heart pierce with fear. I don't understand. What do you mean? She demanded. You will, Emeka said, his eyes dark and full of secrets. But first, survive the night, and then you will see. Olaedo helped Ada out of the burning house. The villagers worked together to put out the flames. Smoke drifted into the moonlight, making the village feel strange and quiet. Olaedo sat by the river, shaking. Her clothes were singed, her hands trembling. She looked at Ada, who clutched her tightly, terrified but alive. Emeka disappeared into the trees, watching silently, a ghost in the shadows. Olaedo thought she was safe. But deep down, she knew the danger was far from over. The whispers of the village, the strange shadow, and Emeka's words all pointed to a truth she had never imagined. She looked up at the sky, moonlight reflecting on the water, and whispered to herself, I will find the truth. No matter what it cost. In the darkness, a force older than the village stirred, waiting for the right moment to strike. Olaedo's journey had just begun, and nothing would ever be the same again. Next time, she will uncover the hidden truth behind her birth, she will face enemies she never imagined, and the village of Umuofia will never be the same again.
Why didn't anyone tell me the truth, Obinna? Why did they all lie to me? Who am I really?
Olaedo, stop! If you know that truth, this village will burn! The gods won't forgive us!
Then let it burn, Obinna! I'm done living in lies! I deserve to know who I am! You were never meant to find out, Olaedo. Never.
Rain poured endlessly over Umuofia village that night. The thunder kept shaking the sky, as if the heavens themselves were angry. Olaedo and Obinna ran through the muddy path, their hearts pounding. Behind them, masked men with torches followed, their chants echoing through the trees. The secret of Olaedo's birth was no longer safe. Someone wanted her silenced, forever. They hid behind a fallen tree. Olaedo's hair stuck to her face. Her wrapper torn, her breath came out fast. Obinna. She whispered, why are they after me? What do they want? Obinna looked into her eyes. It's not you they want. It's what you carry. She frowned. What do I carry? Obinna looked down at her hand, the pendant that Emeka dropped at the river. It was glowing faintly in the dark. A flash of lightning lit up the forest. For a split second, they saw one of the masked men standing on the hill, watching them silently. Olaedo gripped Obinna's arm. They found us. He shouted, run. Obinna yelled. They sprinted through the forest, splashing through puddles, their feet sinking into the mud. Behind them, torches blazed. The sound of running feet grew louder. A stick flew past Olaedo, narrowly missing her shoulder. Obinna grabbed her hand, pulling her behind a rock. They hid there, catching their breath. The rain slowed. The night was cold. Olaedo held the glowing pendant close. What is this thing, Obinna? Why is it glowing? Obinna shook his head. I don't know. But I think it's connected to your father. My father? She asked, confused. But he died before I was born. Obinna's voice was low. No, Olaedo. He didn't die. He was banished. Olaedo's eyes widened. Banished. Her mind raced. She remembered the old stories, tales her mother refused to tell, about a man who defied the gods and vanished into the sacred forest. She stood up, her voice shaking. If my father was banished, then I'll find him. I need to know why. Obinna grabbed her arm. That forest is forbidden. No one enters and comes out alive. Olaedo turned to him, her eyes burning with courage. I was born from that secret. Maybe I'm the only one meant to survive it. Before Obinna could reply, a rustle came from the bushes. 3 masked men appeared. Without thinking, Obinna pushed Olaedo behind him. Stay down. He shouted. The first man swung a stick. Obinna blocked it with his arm. Wincing in pain, he grabbed a broken branch and struck back, knocking the man to the ground. The second attacker rushed in. Obinna dodged and kicked him hard in the chest. Olaedo watched, terrified but amazed by his courage. She picked up a small stone and threw it at the third man's hand, making him drop his weapon. The fight was fierce. Rain mixed with sweat and mud. Torches fell, the fire hissing in the wet ground. When it ended, the 3 attackers lay unconscious. Obinna stood panting, his arm bleeding. Olaedo ran to him, holding his face. Your heart. He smiled weakly. It's nothing. We need to move before more come. They walked deeper into the forest until the rain stopped. The trees were tall and old, whispering secrets in the wind. Olaedo could feel something strange, like the forest was alive, watching her. Then she saw it, a giant stone carved with ancient symbols, glowing faintly like the pendant. She touched the stone, and suddenly, her vision blurred. She saw flashes, a man standing before the gods, thunder crashing, and a baby crying under a red moon. Her voice trembled. That man. He looked like me. Obina looked confused. What did you see? Olaedo whispered, I think that was my father. Before they could move, Emeka appeared again, stepping from behind the stone. He was calm, but his eyes held power. So you finally touched it, he said. Now you've woken what was sleeping. What do you mean? Olaedo asked, frightened. The curse, Olaedo. The curse your father took upon himself. To protect you. She gasped. What curse? The gods wanted your life. He gave them his freedom instead. That is why he was banished. Tears rolled down Olaedo's face all these years. My mother suffered alone. Emeka nodded. Yes. But the time of silence is over. The same people who betrayed your father now rule this village. Suddenly, they heard shouting in the distance. The masked men were returning, this time with more torches. Emeka looked at them and said, if you want to survive, follow me. I'll take you to the one who knows everything. Olaedo hesitated. Can we trust you? Emeka's eyes met hers. You don't have a choice. They ran through the narrow path, lightning flashing overhead, dogs barked in the distance. They reached a hidden cave near the waterfall. Inside, ancient drawings covered the walls, images of a woman carrying a child under a red moon. Olaedo walked slowly toward the drawings, touching the carved face of the woman. She whispered, that's my mother. Emeka nodded. And this cave is where you were born. Olaedo froze. What? She whispered, yes, he said softly. The villagers feared your birth. They said the thunder meant the gods were angry. Your mother gave birth here, alone, under this same waterfall. Olaedo's knees grew weak. She knelt and touched the ground. Tears fell freely. All her life, she had searched for who she was, and now the truth was unfolding before her eyes. But before they could breathe, a loud explosion echoed outside. Torches filled the cave entrance. The masked men had found them. Emeka turned to Olaedo and shouted, run deeper into the cave. There's another exit. Olaedo grabbed Obina's hand. Come. They ran into the darkness as fire spread at the entrance. The sound of footsteps and shouting filled the air. Deep inside the cave, the pendant in Olaedo's hand began to glow brighter than ever. The light filled the space, revealing a hidden doorway carved with ancient words. She turned to Obina. This is it. This is where it all began. Obina looked at her with fear and admiration. Olaedo, are you sure? She nodded. Yes. It's time to end this secret. The secret of Olaedo's birth has been revealed halfway. But the truth waiting behind that doorway will shake the village to its roots. Some secrets are too powerful to hide forever.
Tell me the truth, Emeka! Who am I really? Why do they all want me dead?
Because you are the child they all swore to destroy. The one who carries your father's forbidden power. Then let them come. Tonight, we end their lives with truth.
Secrets will rise, destinies will clash, and the true heir will awaken.
The rain outside grew heavier. Inside the cave, Olaedo held the glowing pendant tightly in her fist. Her heart beat like a drum. She could hear the footsteps of the masked men approaching. The air felt thick with danger. Emeka moved closer, his eyes serious. Olaedo, once you cross that door, there's no turning back, he said. What's behind it? She asked. Your destiny, he replied. And your father's truth. Olaedo looked at Obina, who nodded silently. She took a deep breath and pushed the stone door open. A cold wind blew through the cave. Inside was a hidden chamber, ancient symbols carved on the walls, and in the center, a large stone throne. On the throne sat a man. Chained, his hair gray, his body weak but proud. When he lifted his head, Olaedo froze. His eyes looked just like hers. The man smiled faintly. So, my daughter finally stands before me. Olaedo's voice trembled. Father. He nodded slowly. Yes. I am Okadike, the man your mother loved, the man this village betrayed. Tears rolled down Olaedo's cheeks. All my life, I thought you were dead. He shook his head sadly. No, my child. I live in silence, bound by the oath I made the night you were born. The ground rumbled softly. The air changed. Olaedo looked around, confused. What oath? Her father's voice grew heavy. The gods demanded your life that night. They said a child born under the red moon would bring destruction. But I refused. I offered myself instead. The village elders betrayed me. They gave me to the forest spirits and kept the truth buried. Olaedo's hands shook. So that's why they fear me. Yes, he said softly. They fear the prophecy that one day you will return to break the curse. Suddenly, a loud roar came from outside. The masked men had broken through the cave entrance. Torches blazed as they ran in, shouting. Their leader, Chief Okoro, stepped forward, his face no longer hidden. His voice thundered through the chamber. This ends tonight. That child should never have been born. Olaedo's eyes burned with anger. You destroyed my family. You lied to everyone. Okoro laughed coldly. We did what was needed to save the village. Emeka stepped in front of Olaedo, his charm glowing faintly. Enough. This girl carries the blood of sacrifice. If you touch her, the gods themselves will rise against you. But Chief Okoro was blinded by greed and fear. He raised his staff and shouted, "Then let the gods watch me finish what I started 22 years ago." He charged forward. Olaedo closed her eyes. The pendant in her hand grew brighter, so bright it filled the entire cave. A strange wind rushed through the chamber. Shaking the walls, Chief Okoro froze, unable to move. The masked men fell to their knees, covering their eyes, and from the light, Olaedo's father's chains shattered. Okodike stood tall again, his voice filled with strength. You broke my chains, my daughter. Now, let justice speak. He raised his hands toward the heavens. Thunder boomed outside. The torches blew out. When the light returned, Chief Okoro lay on the ground, motionless. The mark of the gods burned into his staff. The others dropped their weapons and fled into the night. The cave was silent again. Olaedo turned to her father. It's over. He smiled weakly. No, my child. It has just begun. The truth must return to the village. Tell them what really happened. Let peace return where lies once ruled. He reached out, touching her face gently. My time is done. Yours begins now. His body began to fade, turning into a bright light that vanished into the air. Olaedo cried, clutching the pendant to her chest. Emeka placed a hand on her shoulder. He's free now. Obinna helped her stand. Let's go home. The village must hear your story. When they returned to Umuofia, the villagers gathered in silence. Olaedo stood before them, drenched from the rain but glowing with courage. She told them everything, her father's sacrifice, the lies, and the curse. The crowd wept. Even Mama Ifeoma bowed her head in shame. Olaedo raised her voice so all could hear. My father was not a curse. He was a man who loved too deeply and suffered for it. From today, no child will be judged by fear or superstition again. The people shouted in agreement. The chief priest stepped forward and placed his staff at her feet. From this day, he said, the gods of Umuofia will remember the name of Olaedo, the child of truth. The drums began to beat. Rain stopped, the sky cleared, and a rainbow stretched above the village. Peace had returned. Olaedo looked up at the sky and whispered, Father, we are free. No matter how long a lie lasts, truth will always rise like the morning sun. Courage is not in fighting others, it's in standing for what is right, even when fear surrounds you.